Hello, hello. Welcome once again to another edition of Quoth the Raven, the Sprite Raven. I'm your host, the Sprite Raven, 33-year veteran, comic, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role-playing games. It is Tuesday. That means it's crowdfunding and industry talk tonight. And joining me, as always, a comic artist who knows when to keep his mouth shut, Chris Hall. He's not speaking tonight at all.
You should be so lucky.
Anyway, it's been a kind of a crazy week this past week, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Just been really, really busy, hectic, especially with you.
Well, yeah. The good news is my father had a doctor's appointment. He had 3 doctor's appointments yesterday, but the main one we went to, it took 3 hours. It was an eye doctor with an eye surgeon because they couldn't figure out why his eyes weren't working the way they thought they should be. And he didn't want to do surgery, so he gave him this therapy about a month and a half ago, doing it. And his vision, from what they said it was 20/60 when they started, and it's now 20/20.
That's pretty damn good.
So that's without a surgery. And he says there's no reason to do a surgery, but your glasses are overcompensating now. So you still have it's a unnatural astigmatism or something like that is what he called it. And basically the glasses are just too strong now. Yes, again, they have to take them back to the original eye doctor that recommend, what's the word? Not recommended, but sent him
referred.
Referred.
Yeah.
The word just wasn't getting in my brain today. And so we have to go back to them and have them see what they can do about getting a different pair of glasses that maybe will help. So there's that good news. We have not. Whoa, there went his camera.
I was wondering if it was going to go.
Yeah. Its camera went, I'm bored. Now watch. Now he's going to do the same thing before they show it. He's going to collapse and go fucking fall asleep.
Nah, I got a nap in, so I'm good.
Yeah. But anyway, his cellulite seems to be improving, but not. It's we got more to go, obviously. But it seems to start finally have the swelling's gone down quite a bit. So
that's good.
There's that good news. But not so much in the comic book industry, huh?
No, the comic book industry, yeah, there's been a lot of been some cannings in the comic book industry.
Yeah, let's look at this for starters. This is from Bleeding Cool. It's not our favorite channel in the world by any means. This is a former staffer from Diamond who says Diamond will not last much longer, maybe to the end of the year. And this is a long-time employee of them. We're not going to go into the whole thing, but the previews writer, Alan Gibson, posted the link in. My hunch and fear is that AdPop will decide to wind down operations, treating what we spend as a sunk cost and cutting their losses, because it's hard to see where and how their revenue will grow. So just be ready. And then he followed the same post his blog on a day he was cleaning out his cubicle at the company. He's talking about the active distribution business will not last much longer, maybe not until the end of the year. And that's probably very true. At least one of the brand managers in purchasing was let go yesterday. The purchasing team was already depleted for departures by choice or not. The company, maybe division is a better word, isn't developing new business, isn't trying to develop new business. No, because it's all gone to Phil.
Pretty much.
And if you don't know who Phil is, we're talking about Phil Russert of Philo Distribution. There's no active desire to generate new revenue, just to resign state of affairs and monetizing what remains. In Olive Branch, which is the main warehouse, which is what they're fighting over, what they can and can't sell. That's what the big lawsuit's on about right now. And this is not a viable business model over the long term, which no, it's not. It's about what can be bled from the stone now, and when no more value to be wrought, wind it down and shutter it. If you remain, please look to leave sooner rather than later. You're living on borrowed time. And I thought today during that Alliance Entertainment traded won the bankruptcy pre-exits. Probably dodged the bullet when they withdrew their bid and the consultants went with the backup bidders instead. I thought about a situation where Alliance had won the auction and taken ownership. And then the estate said, oh, wait a minute, you don't want me the consignor of vendor merchandise, neither do the vendors belongs to us. No, because that's not what would have happened under the Diamond under an Alliance situation. And the reason we know that, I'm going to stop that stupid thing. That looks, all those stupid ads are junking. The reason we know that won't happen under Alliance is because I was advising Alliance and had warned them about that up front. And any type of finalization of an agreement, which is part of why there wasn't a finalization of Alliance, was because that would have had to be resolved, and it would have either gone Alliance getting all of it, or there would have been no deal. And the reason I gave them that advice was because when Diamond was acquiring and liquidating all the failed comic distributors in the 90s, they didn't pay the publishers for the product they acquired from those failing distributors, and the distributors went under and didn't pay either. So we already had this pattern once before. So if you're going to have a buyer buy out, I want the buyer to be responsible. So their board of directors was aware of that situation. That was not going to happen under the watch, I don't believe. Now, that doesn't mean that there still wouldn't have been some issues, because it's Diamond and there's going to be some issues. But I think that was part of the reason why Alliance pulled out of the bid to begin with. It wasn't just the game thing that was mentioned, but that was a bigger piece.
Right. So if you are a publisher, basically, if you're a publisher still holding on to Diamond distribution, it's time to kick Rose's fat ass off the door and swim to another lifeboat and row to another lifeboat.
Yeah,
that was a Titanic. That was a Titanic reference. If you didn't get that,
yeah, yes, but yeah, it's not just that. I mean, there's other things. I mean, for the last 3-4 years, the writing's been on the wall, and it's been mostly just a lack of desire for people to want to make what changes are necessary. And hopefully, now that we're being dragged kicking and screaming into the reality, I guess,
right?
It's going to take a while, but they'll get it done. But that isn't the only issue this past week.
No, it is not.
DC had to do something that isn't very common, and that is cancel a product just as the first issue is coming into the market. Due to no fault of their own, it was due to their writer of the book. The book is Red Hood.
It was partially due to their own fault.
Well, we'll discuss that in a minute. I'm not, but the main thing is the writer, Gretchen Falker-Martin, made some rather controversial statements about the recent murder of Charlie Kirk, or assassination, whatever terminology you want to use. And while, if you know who Falker-Martin is and what her history is, and there's a reason why she said it, and she's entitled to speak her mind, but you have to understand, when you're in this business in a public position as a public entertainer, working for a company, working with collaborators, you're not just speaking for yourself, you're speaking in a way connected to who your employer is or who your coworkers are. And that was not acceptable behavior. And because of that controversy, DC felt the need to pull the book and cancel it entirely.
And that was the PC version.
The PC version.
So that PC version is Charlie Kirk was a bigoted, racist, sexist, transphobic piece of garbage. And it's perfectly understandable that Gretchen would feel that way.
Yes, being a
But
transgender herself,
yes,
right?
yes, but also, like I said, like you said, being an adult and in a high profile position, you should know how to keep your damn mouth shut. You should know that that's going to affect you.
And the thing is, she didn't know. She knew it as soon as she posted it, and still left it up and didn't, and actually later doubled down on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you kind of have to go, is this person really all there? I mean, I understand your feelings. I understand, but that's why you kind of have to have private channels, private media away from the public that are only available to your tight inner circle who aren't going to portray your thoughts to the world, presumably. Or you can't speak that way in public without expecting someone to raise a commotion. Now, was the commotion that was raised an overreaction to her statement? I don't know. I mean,
I think DC was going to save face. DC was going to save face no matter how they had to do it.
I'm not talking about DC. I'm talking about the fandom.
Okay, gotcha.
I think the fandom overreacted to a level of degree, but then the fandom overreacts to everything.
Right? Yeah, angry comic book nerds acting like angry comic book nerds. What?
Yeah. So I mean, so you've got that too. So, but yes, DC was going to do it. I mean, DC knew as soon as they heard about it, they were cutting ties. As far as I'm aware, the rest of the creative team has been paid for, or is going to be paid for, whatever work has been completed. They're not going to get a kill fee because it was not a kill fee based on lack of sales or lack of quality of work. It was based on this external behavior by the writer.
This was highly anticipated, wasn't it? I mean, I believe so, right? This book?
Yeah, it was rather, they'd done some promotion for it. They're trying to make this thing go, and it didn't because she did this. And you kind of almost wonder if she did this consciously or subconsciously because she was afraid of the windbags in social media that were going to tear the book down just because it's written by her.
Well, yeah, you never. I mean, that was going to happen regardless. And when I say it, DC partially does take blame. Have part in that blame because they knew exactly what they were getting. They knew that she had a history of inflammatory comments against other people, and they knew that she even told them. And this was a quote from multiple sites that if you hire me, you should expect at least 500 to 500 people, of the craziest freaking people that you've ever seen in your life coming for your head and for mine because of who she was.
Yeah.
So DC knew what they were getting into, but I guess she crossed the line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, put yourself in the publisher's shoes. If this person had said this, and you were a publisher, and you know what the reaction has been from your audience base online, what do you do in there? What do you think your PR people are going to tell you? What do you think the legal people are going to tell you to do?
Oh yeah, exactly.
So it's now personally, what I would have done was I would have taken her pay. I still would release the book, taking her off the name off the book, taking her pay from the book. She gets no association to the book. And all the pay that she would have gotten I would have put it to, like some sort of fund against or for the survivors, family survivors of people who get shot and murdered, assassinated like this sort of thing. Because Kirk was not the only one this past week. There was others.
But wouldn't that have opened DC up to a lawsuit? Because that's basically stealing her idea, stealing her her intellectual idea.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
I think that would have opened them up to a lawsuit.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know.
And as far as I'm concerned, the DC hiring her falls under the category. Maybe you've heard the phrase, "Oh no, the face-eating leopard that I just hired is eating my face." I wasn't expecting that. How did I ever know that was going to happen?
Right.
So,
yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I'm saying that's something I would have thought of. I'm not saying that would have been what I would have done for sure. It's something I would have looked as that as an option. Is that an option? What because if you knew this is what she was going to do up front, and she warned you, I don't know how to put clauses in the damn contract for that myself.
Well, yeah, at least to cover their butts.
Yeah, so there you go. But who knows? But
it's just a shame that the entire creative team
gets punished.
Had to get canned as well. Yeah,
it gets punished. Yeah. And that's the real shame of it. And it's a shame that the book itself, for better or for worse, is not out there, because I mean it's not just the energy and talent of the people who put into it, but I mean it's going to affect other titles that were kind of loosely, tangentially to it as well. So because the Batverse is always intertwined. So
and also it sounds like a pretty damn good idea. It sounds like a pretty cool book.
Yeah.
So like I was reading what she had, the idea she had, and I was like, I would have read that. It sounded pretty cool.
Yeah. So it is what it is. And my advice for creators is to understand that your personal lives can't be up there on social media all the time. You got to have your own private channels for your family and your inner circle, shall we say. And the public persona has to be something, I don't know, vanilla, for lack of a better word.
Right.
It has to be pretty plain. You're not, and people go, well, no, I should be allowed to express myself. No, we don't have the right to express ourselves. We have the freedom of expression, yes, but the freedom has a price and a consequence for what you say and how you say it.
Yes, exactly. You have freedom of speech. You do not have freedom from the consequences of that speech.
Right. And that's what people don't seem to have a grasp of these days, unfortunately. So, there was that going on. And then there was did you hear about the whole, I know you've seen some of this stuff where they're calling out artists for AI at conventions and removing them from AI.
Yeah, they called the cops and had the artist removed.
Right. There needs to be simple rules for this. And the main rule is, if they're a working artist, they have to be able to do something live that represents what they do, that is equitable to the work that they have for sale. If possible.
If it's possible, yeah.
Yeah. And, I get it for someone like you, computer color. So that means I got to bring my whole rig down here and have it hooked up so I can do computer coloring on the side, type thing. I kind of look at it as we need to be able to show multiple sides of our artistic abilities. I mean, I've had so many people come up to me at shows claiming I didn't do the artwork that was up for sale because I have so many different art styles I can work in. And when other artists have to stand up and defend me and say, "Shut the hell up! I watched them draw it live for the last 2 hours. He drew this, and this in front of me, so kiss my ass, because it looks like somebody else's art style, or because it looks like something that was done elsewhere beforehand or something." Well, that was what I was asked for to do in some cases, was draw something in the vein of that style, or whatever. Somebody brings me an action figure. Okay, I pose the action figure and I draw the pose in that action figure. Well, obviously, whoever designed that action figure is partly the originator. Then there's also whoever designed the character to begin with, and a whole lot of other factors in there. But someone brings me a card with Justin Grant on it, who played the Flash in the TV series, with the action figure, and says, "I want you to draw Justin Grant as the Flash, and here's your reference." Okay, do you want me to draw it in that specific look on the card, or am I allowed to do an interpretation from a different position, or what? Because if I'm emulating that card, well, I'm actually using the photo, and I don't know who did the photo work.
Right.
So there's different elements that people need to understand there, and AI doesn't care. AI does whatever they want with blending whatever sources. At least I try to be, credit to my peeps, if I'm using something else. But
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
As someone who knows AI very, very well, because I have to, there are ways to use it where you are not stealing from someone else, because you can input your own artwork and manipulate it that way, and animate it, and do other things with your own artwork. And if you're using your own artwork, it's not taking from other artists and stealing from other artists. The part where it comes in where you are stealing from other artists and not giving them credit is when you're writing a prompt going, "I want a sexy babe in a bikini punching Batman in the face," and then hit a button and it creates that image. That is what is stealing from across the internet.
Yes and no, but I get where you're coming from. You're still, even if I'm using my own artwork and importing it into the AI, and I also take Byrne art and Perez art and Garcia Lopez art and this guy's art, and we blend all of those styles through the AI. Yes, my art is still part of that thing, but it's still an amalgamation of all of us. And I'm
not talking about taking other art styles. I'm talking about just using your art.
Oh, well, just using my art. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure there was a clarification there. So.
Yes. I'm saying just using your own art, you can manipulate that art with the AI.
Right.
Okay. And it's still your art.
Right.
So it's not taking from other artists.
Right. Okay. Yeah. If you're using your own thing. Right. Okay. But most people aren't. That's the thing.
Exactly. Yeah. When they talk about AI stealing shit, they're talking about the button pushers, and then making an image.
Right.
Because, AI is here to stay, man. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
And it's only going to get better and better and better. Because as of right now, there is no AI program that can competently color a comic book page without an actual artist having to put work into it.
Right. Well, you really can't have them competently drawing anything because there's always mistakes in the AI art that
True.
wouldn't normally be there from a human perspective because it just doesn't.
Some things it doesn't get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's I think it's just interesting because to me it's just people just trying to pick and choose who can and cannot be in these places. And to me, if you paid for your spot and you were vetted correctly, and that's the part of the showrunner and their people, then there's no cost for it. And again, to me, if you're an artist, you should be able to present something live that's competent to say, look, I don't care what that is. This is what I'm doing over here. If you don't want me to sell that, do you think it's out of line? Fine, I'll put that away. I got other stuff I could sell. But a lot of times, a lot of these AI guys have nothing but the prints, and they can't draw live, and they can't do certain things that would identify them as legit.
Right.
And that's okay. There you go. Now you go somewhere. But when someone can actually do what they're selling, you got to back off. And
there's artists out there. There's legitimate professional comic book artists that are stupidly talented, right? That I know of for a fact that will put a piece of their art into AI just because it's easy and say, okay, move that arm up a little bit. Boop, there, done. Instead of having to erase and redraw and all, just you put it into the AI and boop, it's done. And they're altering their own art.
Right.
With it. So
right. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. That's a tool.
Exactly. You're using it as a tool, just like Photoshop, just like Illustrator, just like Premiere, anything.
Right. As far as that goes. But yeah, but there's a big difference between that and the
button pushers.
Yeah. I guess the button pushers, for lack of a better word, but the prompters, let's put it that way. I've never done an AI prompt before. I don't know. I look at a lot of the stuff that other people have done for AI prompts, and I roll my eyes at it. So, I mean, even the stuff that's kind of cutesy with some of the videos that are made, like what was it, the redneck Star Trek video I showed you recently? I mean, okay, that's a lot of work. They did a lot of work on that, but at the same time, it's just like,
and it's expensive. It's expensive too.
Yeah, and it's like, damn, that was dumb for a minute and 30 minutes for a minute and 30 seconds. But yeah, then you look at the views on it. 1.3
right, exactly. It's not going anywhere. It's just it's just like when Photoshop first came out. People are like, oh, it's cheating. No, we just got to figure out how to use it the right way.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. It is what it is. So those are the three topics that have been kind of running all rampant all over social media.
Yep. And if you have any opinions on that, let us know in the comments or let us know in an email.
Or comment on the commentary below after the video is over.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So, again, people might have questioned, well, why does Chris need to know and be an expert on AI? It's because he is a person who works on the ethical study and use of AI for a client.
Yes. In addition to traditionally, well, is it traditional? Traditionally, computer coloring comic books.
Well, no. Well, yeah, right. But no, we're just saying you've been tasked with identifying what is considered ethical versus unethical.
Yes.
And while I don't know if I want to call you an expert on it just yet, because you've only been doing this for what, about 6 months, 8 months doing that.
Yes, very heavily, but yes, I'm not an expert by any means, but I know quite a bit.
Yeah. I would say, give yourself another year and a half, and then I would say you should be one of the more high-end, knowledgeable people on the topic. So, but that's why we're bringing it up, because a lot of people don't necessarily understand all of that, and we're going to probably do a full episode on that at some point.
We probably should, because AI is still almost in its infancy. Maybe
Yeah.
it's toddlerhood, I should say. And when people, when you say the word AI, people it's like Frankenstein. People get out the pitchforks and they're like, kill the monster, and they don't understand the monster.
Yep. So we're going to do that. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our campaigns for the week. Now, again, people were recently had asked me, why don't you cover Indiegogos? So we're going to cover 2 Indiegogos to start. Just to make you happy. We're going to start with Outlaw Knights issue number 2. Issue number 1 will also be available during this campaign. And it's an in demand. And this is from Ben Fusebox from New Orleans, Louisiana. And it was finished on July 1st, 2025, but you can still get your order. Let's see what it's got. Okay.
Nice looking book.
The digital is $11, 31% off. The physical is $15, which is 40% off. It was $25, which I think the prices are a little bit high personally, but that's just my opinion. Is it just me, or do you not like the computer coloring?
I'm actually fine with the computer coloring.
Okay. I don't like how they color some of the line art with browns instead of letting it be the line art itself.
That's the new trend, is color holding the line art of the face.
Yeah, it doesn't look good to me. I don't know.
I typically don't care for that either, but this is actually it's fairly done. It's done fairly well. So
here's another piece of it. Okay, different people. Now this image I don't like at all.
Yeah, I don't care for the layout.
Well, I mean, the woman is sitting there with a dinosaur reptilian critter that probably weighs about 150 pounds on her shoulder while she's lifting this Gatling gun, laser gun that probably weighs 300 pounds. She's not She-Hulk, damn it.
Well, she may be cybernetically enhanced.
Yeah, well, maybe, but it just doesn't look. It looks kind of bad to me. I don't know. Not my favorite design, but someone asked me to like look at this. I don't know. And it's like, okay, you got the Gatling gun. What is this stuff up front? Another gun that's in the way. Did that even need to be there?
I guess they're just trying to show depth.
I don't know. It's just not good. This doesn't look bad. This is the interior of the book, and it looks a lot different than what was otherwise, but okay. I don't know. Lots of cyborgs.
Yeah, I mean, I think the art looks decent. I don't know. I like it.
So anyway, to get issues 1 and 2, physical cost you $25. That's $12 a book plus for shipping.
How many pages are the books?
I don't think it's set.
Oh, that's 25 for 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. Well, depending on how many pages are in the books. I mean, does he even say? I don't know. I'm looking.
Should say up top, but
well, that's just it. They didn't. It just goes with the saga continues. And there's nothing there.
Damn you!
You're supposed to describe what your actual format is. Now, it might be down here. We just haven't gotten that far, possibly. The book is done. Book is complete. That's fine. I don't care about stickers and options and whatever. I want to know how many pages the story is.
You see, I know how to include how many pages are in a crowdfunding campaign because I, unlike you, was born into the comic book world. You merely adopted it.
Yeah, there's nothing here about how many pages the story is. So, it's probably a standard, 24, 28 page, 22 to 28 page stories. But still, right. It's a little high priced. But then, that's the kind of what happens with Indiegogo. They seem to be a little bit higher priced than these Kickstarters for some reason.
Which is weird.
So
it's kind of bizarre.
I don't know. I'm probably going to pass on that one, but at least we shared it.
I like the art, but I'm not a sci-fi guy, so the concept really doesn't. It's just not me.
Right. So let's go on to the next one, and that is something called Spring Ball Terminal Monstrosity #1. This is also in demand.
Interesting. That one did well. Holy crap!
But this was actually on Kickstarter. I think and then it came over to Indiegogo for us to go in demand because Kickstarter doesn't have an in-demand format. So I think it earned its like $29.5 from Kickstarter and then earned another 4,600 or so, 4,800 here in demand as of May of this year. Now this is going to be for you classic pre-image Todd McFarlane nuts. It's done well. It told you how many pages you're going to get. The original 20 pages remastered plus an original 22 pages remastered plus an additional 20 for 42 pages total. It told you what the size of the format of the book was going to be. It's an oversized format at 8.5 by 11. So that was a good video.
And the art was slamming.
Yeah. Well, the art was McFarlane-ish. Like I said, if you're into that, this is your book. It's you got a John Malin cover. I know some people don't like John Malin, but whatever. You don't have to get his cover. You can get the other cover here. It's more McFarlane-esque.
Very McFarlane-esque.
And it's kind of like it is a love letter to Ditko and McFarlane and Evil Dead. So they drew new pages, they did new coloring, everything has been done. So it's completely reworked. It's reformatted to 8.5 by 11 at 400 DPI print, which is fine. I don't think you need to let you to cite the DPI of the format for the files, but okay.
Well, yeah.
But then I understand why he's saying that, because he says the original files were in 2002, first issue were 150 DPI and at 11 by 17. So, well, okay, you do 150 DPI, you reduce it to 11 by to the proper size from 11 by 17. It's like having a 100 DPI image,
right?
So I guess it's by stating why that's actually a reasonable explanation.
I'd like to know how they bumped it up to 400 DPI without blasting it out, though.
Well, like you said, it had to be redrawn. A lot of it was original hand.
Oh, did it say redrawn? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, from new lines to new coloring to new story to new lettering. So every aspect has been retooled.
Right. Okay, so they were probably using the old pages as like a layout to redraw. Yeah.
Right. But this stuff, is very clearly the McFarlane-esque late 80s, early 90s type thing. As you know, I'm not a McFarlane guy.
No.
But
no, you're not. But that's some pretty cool. I like that.
But I'm looking at this and I'm like, this isn't bad. I don't care for this one panel here because it looks like the rubber line strip is like coming out of his back, like a tail or something.
Oh, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was a tail. I thought it was hooked to his butt like a tail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe it is. I don't know, but it seems kind of weird,
This is pretty cool, though. I like this.
Yeah. So, you get deluxe signed first edition featured. You can get the original story for $12. You get a John Malin cover if you want it. The deluxe B cover. You can get a print. I would probably skip on the prints personally. Both signed editions, 50. You get an ink sketch for 85. Okay, that's it's like a Remark sketch, I think.
For 85?
Yeah. You can get a completist, get everything for $85. I don't know, and I guess you get a black, and then for all of them plus a sketch, you get it's 175. I guess. But different. I don't know. I'm curious about this one. I kind of want to see it just because, even though I'm not a McFarlane guy, something about this just actually does intrigue me a little bit to see what they came up with.
Right. The only thing I question is, I don't think a Remark is worth $85, but
Yeah. Well, I don't know how big the sketch is. If it's big enough, like on the inside, with enough space, then yeah, it might be worth it. But if it's just like a little one, like what I do for Wingman, no, I don't think that's worth $85. So I don't know, but I wouldn't go there anyway. If anything, I would get the regular $25 book for 42 pages. I don't know. I'm sort of interested, but I haven't completely made my mind up. This is in demand though, so I can pick it up anytime I want, pretty much until they decide to close it down.
It looks pretty darn cool. So,
all right. Those are our 2 Indiegogos for the night. The rest are back to Kickstarter. And we got 5 of them, and I don't know. We're going to do them in alphabetical order. There are going to be some pretty popular names and some that are just going to be, well, you'll understand why I picked them for the show. Let's start with the Deep Sea graphic novel by Jimmy Palmiotti, Justin Gray, and Tony Atkins. It's a 48-page graphic novel. As you see, it's over 21,000 now. 15 days to go.
Well, I can see why it's over 20 grand.
Yeah, well, it is who it is, you know.
No, I'm talking about the first image.
Because the way the aureolas will stick out through the costume.
Yep.
But you got decent writers from Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray. Tony Atkins did some good stuff. Paul Mount's great colorist, so it should be good quality work.
And I'm a sucker for deep sea stuff, so.
Yeah, so I mean, this is, kind of a
I mean, it gives its references. I mean, where it draws from: the abyss, the sphere, the thing, that sort of thing.
Right. So yeah, no. And somehow it's an all ages story, which I kind of question how it's going to be an all ages story when you got that kind of look. But okay, 48 pages.
Everybody has nipples, Raven. Everybody.
Data doesn't. We forgot that. I'm kidding, but anyway, no, the artwork was sharp. They had Ben Caldwell doing a variant cover. Okay, I'm not really. That doesn't really appeal to me all that much. Stretch goals, of course, you get a print book upgrade. They're going to do a UV spot cover, big deal. If you get to 25,000, they'll do a digital comic from the archives for all backers. You get a sticker at 30,000, digital sketchbook at 40,000, etc. And they got 2 weeks to go, so they'll probably get at least to the sticker level.
Yeah, with Jimmy's name attached. Yeah.
So I mean, it's not that big of a deal there. There's your estimated shipping costs.
I like that they add that.
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah. And these are estimated. They might go up or down depending on how things change as they get closer to ship date. And I know a lot of people are looking at those high prices overseas and going, damn, what is that? How much it costs? Yeah, unfortunately. And
yeah.
It's even more expensive from those countries to the U.S. now because of all the idiot tariffs and bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, don't blame them. Blame your idiot government for that crap. There's really no reason for prices to cost this.
Nope.
I like that. Please do not overpledge for limited tier items. If they're limited, please put back those and add on the non-limited items, which makes sense. They want the items to be limited. What they're saying is don't order multiple tiers for yourself.
Right.
Basically. Just do one tier and then add-ons. Again, here's the cover image. Okay, it's all right. It's Dave Johnson cover. There's your Tony Atkins cover.
Wait, that top one was Dave Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty uninspired for Dave.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Amanda Connor mystery cover. Okay. Not final art. No, I would hope not. Pledge 10 for your digital, 15 for digital plus the script. Dave Johnson cover gives you 25. You can get Tony Atkins, okay, whatever. I would probably just go with the Dave Johnson cover regularly. That's just me. These decent levels of stuff. You can get some add-ons, like getting these books, Gatecrasher, The Hunters, a Power Girl #1, annual one or regular one. If I was going to get any of those, I might get Gatecrasher, but then I probably wouldn't because it's Mark Waid, and I just no. But other than that, the reason I think about Gatecrasher though is because I remember Gatecrasher being something that Palmiotti had done with Adam Hughes had done a cover or something.
Okay.
So that's why I remember it. Other than that, why the Kickstarter's fine, And of course, you can follow their team as they do social links and stuff like that. Please note that after 1 year from shipping, the campaign fulfillment will close. That what he means by that is he wants to make sure that once they're closed, they're not being charged for taxes and insurance for stocks and stuff like that. So if you haven't completed your survey by 1 year after shipping, you'll lose your claim to your reward. And your pledge will just be seen as a donation to the campaign. And typically, if you can't get your book within a year after they've supposedly shipped out, there's a problem, right? So, again, shipping costs are the big one, and they apologize for that. Yeah, I just, I'm cool with this one. I'll probably back it on some level. I don't know which one yet. Probably. Let me get back down here a little bit. Just the Deep Sea cover unsigned is probably my best option, I think. And we got like 2 weeks to think about it, so we'll think about it. All right. Let's see. By the way, all the links to these are in the description of the video, so you can go to those pages yourselves. That's why I haven't posted the actual links up on the screen. Just check the description of the video. Our next book is by Dan Votto's Slave Labor Graphics, and that is Model A Volume 1. It's actually by Jeff Bombas, but it's published by Don Votto's SLG Publishing. It's got 19 days to go. Hasn't got very much tread so far. This has only got 7 backers so far. It's only got a $1,000 goal. Let's see what this is going to be.
My name is Jeff Bambas, and I am the creator, writer, and artist of Model A. It's like an old silent movie with robots. And it is about a robot that accidentally comes to life in some odd facility that he has to start navigating around, and he meets the upgrades, Model Bs, which do not take as kindly to his hijinks as we do. This is for anybody. This is a unique reading experience in that there's no dialogue. And so anybody who enjoys visual storytelling will like this book. And so we're doing this Kickstarter to open up the audience and also to help fund the future issues that are going to be coming out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward description. The art looked pretty cool to me for black and white.
It looked okay.
You know, it reminds me of Scud the Disposable Assassin.
It's exactly what I was thinking. Out of my mind! Get out of my head, Raven!
But I'm really liking it. You know, but then I like the silent comics that have no dialogue. You should like that too.
Yeah, I'm all for no dialogue.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's okay. Let's see what you can get a 3D print. I don't really need a 3D print. The book itself, I don't need a close. I don't need prints. I just, what's the book? Okay, graphic novel. This collects the first 6 issues of the series. So you're looking at probably about 144 pages for $20. That's reasonable.
Yeah, that's not a whole lot of money.
And then a T-shirt for $25, which has been standard for these sort of things. So, and it's printed in-house by the shirt minions at SLG Publishing. So we know it's going to be reasonably decent. The question is, how big of a shirt can you get? You know,
Exactly.
Retailers, you can get 3 copies of 50% off plus free shipping and handling. Hey, free shipping, 50% discounts, reasonable, guys out there, retailers. You know, it'll ship either medium mail or UPS ground, depending on what's cheapest for them. But you know, you're still going to get it in protected condition. You know, they're not going to ship to you in bad conditions. For $30, 3, that's like 10 copies each. Yeah, that's reasonable. I would certainly, if I was a retailer, that would be worth my time. The book and a shirt combination's $40. Okay, yeah, you save $5. Yeah, okay, sounds reasonable. Yeah, okay, that's all 3 prints. Again, I don't really care. All of them were $75. You get the book, the T-shirt, and all 3 prints. Yeah, I'm really not into the prints that much. Not for that price. I think that's just a little bit excessive. They are a little bit larger. They are 13 by 19, so that sort of makes sense why. They're shipped as rolled in a tube. I mean, that makes sense. But I prefer my prints flat. So I'd have to pass on the prints. But yeah, I'm thinking either the book or the book and the shirt. How about you?
I mean, yeah, this looks like a fun little book. You know, you should just, if you don't want the book, you should just back this thing for the hell of it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's Model A. Our next book, our next selection is the Sci-Fi Worlds of Juan Jimenez graphic novel box set. This has got 14 days ago. As you can see, it just jumped another $2,000 right there. Well, this is a legendary Juan Jimenez. I mean, and you're getting 4 or 5 books in a box set. So, I mean, it's a really cool deal if you haven't already got the books. This is from Alien Books. And you get Black Star, which is a new printing, Gangrene, War 3, and Mutant. This is the mock box setup. There we go. Or box set mock-up, either way. Magazine size graphic novels, that means you're going to be like 8.5 by 11 or larger, maybe 9 by 12. Oversized softer format with a deluxe box edition set, only available through this program. I've got Black Star. I've reviewed Black Star earlier last year or earlier this year. This is a new printing cover, awesome new cover, but I'm not. That's kind of why I'm not backing this one, because I've already got some of these books. But for people who don't have this stuff, who liked what I was showing when I was promoting this book before with the review, now's the time to back it. Gangrene, good book. It's about a world polluted by garbage and what happens when they try to resource and clean up the pollution, and the rich people don't like it, as usual.
As usual.
We got War number 3. This is the limits of war, humanity's place in conflict. There's multiple short stories in this, basically. All science fiction, but well done. You see these giant head robot things, but inside there's a human head with the brain attached to the wiring, operating the robot and all that stuff. It's wild stuff. And then, of course, there's Mutant, which is the variety, again, anthology. I like all of this stuff. You can get the whole box set. You can get a bundle online for PDFs if you don't want to get it for only $20, $19. No shipping required. So, you're getting high quality DPFs for all 4 sets. That's a really good deal. That's what I would do.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. And it's got boobies, kids.
Yeah, well, these are adult stories, yes. The box set plus a variants bundle. So every graphic novel is 56 pages or more. So, if you've previously backed iDragon Kickstarter campaign and purchased your Black Stars add-on, they'll give you a different thing for a special reward tier. Your early bird's already gone pretty much. So, other than that, I'm pretty much digging it. If I didn't already have like Gangrene and Black Star, I probably would back this, but I feel like I'm rebuying,
Yeah.
And I kind of wish there was another way to buy the other 2 separately, But that's just my opinion, on that. But they're going to add new story. If they reach these goals, you're going to get new stories added to War number 3. So there's a lot of other stuff going on here too. This is the Black Star variant I got with Ariel Olivetti cover, and then I got the Gangrene cover like this. So, that's Now I did not get this war thing, so and I didn't get Mutant. So, these are the older ones. So it's interesting that they have that. But yeah. What do you think?
I love the art. It seems to be kind of like a horror sci-fi, so I could dig it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll remind you to think about the PDFs later. Yeah, I mean, why do you want to get PDFs? Because that's what his format is preferred right now.
I don't have a lot of space for hardbacks or floppies.
Yeah. So there you go. That is the Sci-Fi Worlds of Juan Jimenez. All right. Now it's Chris's selection, so to speak. We know that this is what Chris would pick if he was going through this on his own. What is it?
Slasher Royale.
Yes. And
Looks promising. Okay.
The art didn't really grab me. I don't know about you.
Nope. Don't like the art. Sorry.
It has reached its pledge goal. It's got 13 days to go. Concept, I don't know. I mean, this looks nice.
Right.
Because
it's cover art.
Yeah. Even that looks okay.
Mm-hmm.
But this stuff looks really rough.
It does. Like it was rushed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
And I mean, it's interesting. The caveman was captured, and all right, Charlie's father wants him. Okay, he wants to avenge his parents' death. Okay, fine. He's going into the prison as a guard to try and get close to the guy who killed his parents. All right, and go through all the other people who have ever walked the earth. Okay, sure. It's different. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean,
yeah, the art is just too much of a turnoff for me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. It just is.
Yeah. I like some of it as far as, I mean, there's some really interesting, I mean, this panel with the woodland is great.
Yeah. But no, I don't, his faces, his people are just lazy drawn. But Raven and Chris, that's my style. No, it's not. It's just bad art. Quit saying that bad art is your style.
There's flaws in it, yes. I don't. Some of the layouts I'm not really keen on. The coloring, it just looks too rough on a lot of this stuff.
Right.
But some of it, as far as
I like the color palettes.
The color palettes are good. Some of the line art really isn't that bad. It just feels like it's.
It just looks like it was hastily drawn. Like there was like.
I don't want to say hastily. I maybe just unfinished. To me, I'd like to see what the stuff looks like in black and white comparative, because a lot of times when you have a color piece, the coloring can overwork the line art.
It's not even that for me.
Yeah. well, like, he's trying to create these level of depth with different like blotches of color for the grass, for example.
It's not even it's his surroundings, his exterior, they're fine. I don't like his human, the way he draws.
You just don't like the figure. You just don't like his figure drawing.
Yes. But Chris, I bet you couldn't do any better. You're right. I couldn't. But I've been in the comic book industry for almost 20 years, and I can pick out good art.
It's not the worst we've seen, though.
No, it's not.
Yeah. This face looks a little bit too wonky. The mouth is too off. I don't mind the two eyes looking a little bit different. There's a lot of eyes are actually off center in real life anyway.
Right.
You don't realize it when you're looking at it because your mind kind of shifts it. But if you actually start looking at photos of people, you can see it more. You're like, I didn't realize that when I look at them in real life, but when you see still photos, you can see it more. But yeah,
my face is janky as all hell.
Yeah. So it's interesting, certain things that he does here. I wouldn't. I just kind of wish I knew who was doing the covers, because if the whole artwork had been done by like that, by the guy who's doing the cover, this would be like major.
Yeah, but if the whole book looked like that cover, they would be asking for like 10 grand, because I'm sure they would have had to pay out through the nose for an artist of that caliber.
I don't know. Yeah, but either way, it's done, and you can get these other things as well. So now there's some janky art. Thing.
Hey, I respectfully, yeah, like everything else in the book looks good. The coloring, the color palette, the covers look good. I just don't like his figure work. That's all. Where you got to work on your figure work, dude.
Yeah, but okay. Like I said, he's got a lot of stuff that you can pick from now for your additions. So yeah, and he's not asking for much.
No, not at all.
The printer's $11 plus shipping, which is pretty standard right now for Kickstarters. Of course, your shipping's going to be high because I guess they're in overseas, because you're sending it in pounds.
Yeah. Yep. So
that's another reason why you might not be as thrilled. But $36 for 4 issues for full physical is only like $9 a book. But that's not too bad. But yeah, I would be more interested in these other books in a way. But yeah, they're out of the UK, so I would be more interested in seeing the other books, I think. That's just my opinion. How about you?
Some of those look good.
Yeah.
The Wendigo one, that looked decent.
There's a couple of other ones I didn't see about. I'll have to look at those for next week. Let me go ahead and put those in other windows. But I think for you, this one's a pass, though.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, we try. All right, our last one for the night is Space Relic Hunters. And it just went to 20,000, as you may have just seen.
I did.
This is by Runeberg and Grun. I've shown you guys their art before with On Mars. Do you remember when we discussed On Mars?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same creative team. So let's take a
Some
look.
nice looking work.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, at this point, I don't even care what the story is. I would back this just for the art.
Right. 2 centuries after a devastating interplanetary religious war, the galaxy is under a iron grip of a great quartet, 4 deities who have outlawed all rival beliefs and unleashed the divine legions to crush dissent. But faith is resilient in the shadows of the cosmic tyranny. Ancient alien religions survive through relics smuggled across star systems. Enter Zia and Little Mercure, her masked alien partner with secrets of his own, and they're navigating the black market underworld of outlaw artifacts, joined by Vitellius, a disgraced Centurion gone rogue. Their latest mission: retrieve a relic from a hostile planet where danger lurks in every crater, and betrayal is just a warp jump away. Tell me that this doesn't sound like fun.
It does, yeah. It's the story sounds great now too. So
Yeah. If you're a fan of Star Wars, Mass Effect, Guardians of the Galaxy, or Dune, this is your next adrenaline-fueled obsession. Yeah, damn right. I love this guy's art.
oh yeah, it is just it's a feast for the eyes. It really is.
Yeah, and I actually am jealous of this guy. I really do get jealous of looking at his stuff. The color palettes are quite interesting. You know,
You're supposed to get inspired.
I know. It does and it doesn't. It inspires me, but it frustrates me because I know I'm never going to get there. But yeah, he's like one of my favorite artists right now. Brune is. So, you know, you can download a preview off this site. So go ahead and download the preview and take a look at it. 120 page hardcover, 8.5 by 11 with the spot UV gloss on the cover.
Are these guys from the US?
No, they're German.
I was going to say this is very European looking, which I love.
Yeah. You get the limited edition slip hardcover if you want, and then you get a $65 thing with all these other goodies. I'm not going to spend the money for the extra goodies. You know, I appreciate the number book plate and all the other stuff, but I just can't get into that right now. They also offer the soft cover on Mars for 244 pages. Again, recommend that story massively. Just gorgeous stuff.
If this guy had an art book, I'd buy the hell out of that.
He does. Yeah, I mean, you can get the. In fact, I showed you some of this stuff with the prints and stuff before when I got on Mars, and we reviewed this. So you can get 50 of those sets if you want to get those extra collectibles at the special package price. There's other add-ons. There's the author, Sylvain Lundberg. And of course, he wrote the Orbital series, which is one of the reasons why I got into this, because I'm a huge fan of Orbital. And then, of course, Grun was on Mars, was his first work with Grun, and then this stuff. And
green is German for green.
Yeah.
So his name is just Green.
Actually, it's French, but he was born in France in 71, but I think he lives in Germany now.
Oh, well. Green is still green.
Born Ludovic Dubois.
Okay.
Just really
Mobius, of course. Yeah, I can see that. Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this guy's a master.
Yeah, love
of his craft.
Yes.
I'm surprised it's only doing what it is doing. I'm surprised it's not doing more.
Well, let's see how far was it again?
They got time.
Yeah, I mean, you got over 2 weeks and stuff, but I forget how I'd have to go back and check to see how far back the other ones went. But I think it sold around 40,000 for on Mars.
Work like this should be doing like 60, 70, 80 grand.
Oh, easy. But European artists tend to get overlooked on these because Americans are like Europeans.
Yeah, that's a shame. That is a shame.
Imagine if this guy was doing Star Wars for Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Or this guy was doing, like, I don't know. I mean, let's go back.
Aliens.
Well, aliens. I'm not talking about just aliens. I'm talking about human beings. I want to go back to the top here. I mean, picture that as Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
And with the different coloring and stuff like that.
Right.
That would work quite well. But I can almost guarantee you, if this was the artist style for Harley Quinn right now, Wes and Doc and the asses would be bitching this shit. You're not being good share. That's why we can't get artists these days, because that's what would happen. But yeah, I'm just not sure here. It's $16 to $18 for your shipping to the States. In addition,
it's not bad.
UK European is 31 to 33, Mediterranean is 36 to 38, Canada is 20 to 30. And keep in mind, these dollars figures, they're converting it from what the money conversion tables are too. That's why some of these more are a little bit higher in other countries.
Right.
So I like the fact that they did that. They're going to fulfill the orders in March of next year. That's a quick spin turnaround, really. So yeah, I'm digging this. And they've fulfilled over 50 similar campaigns over the last 10 years. And you guys have watched me promote a lot of their stuff on this channel and actually shown you the books when I've got them. They're one of the most trustworthy people you can order from. So I would probably just go with the hardcover $25, but I will wait, a little bit.
Right.
I'm gonna go check out this one and add that for next week as well. But that is our final one for tonight. Again, that was Space Relics, Space Relic Hunters, Smugglers, Rebels, and Sacred Ruins. And probably, yeah, like I said, that one that's like a 95% chance I'm backing that. The other one's a little bit lesser, but I don't know. we'll see. Yeah, that's pretty much all we got for you tonight. We'll be back on Thursday with our weekly reviews. Don't have a list of everything that we're going to review. We'll have that up for you tomorrow on my Facebook page. John will be joining us finally. And we haven't determined our Friday night movie yet. We're going to do that right after we get off the air here. And so tomorrow on Facebook, I'll have both the things set up for Thursday and Friday. So what we're going to do. But until then, thanks for watching.
Oh, and if the fates converge properly, Saturday on Glasshouse Presents Throwing Stones, we will have Richard Boom of Glasshouse Europe, basically.
Okay.
And Kickstarter master himself.
Okay. Just a second, my heart monitor.
Okay. And also one of the nicest guys in comics. He's genuinely just... He's from Scandinavia, and they're just so freaking nice.
Yeah. Well, see, I find that a lot of the people that are based over in Europe are a lot more polite and nice than American people for some reason. I mean, I understand in a way. I mean, most Americans right now are so dissident and disgruntled because of what's happened in this country.
But even when we weren't, Americans are typically cocky. Like, hey, USA is the best, we're the best. No, we're not. We haven't been in a long time. Sorry.
Jeff, what was his name? The actor, Jeff something.
Oh yeah. Jeff. He's a Youper.
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah, he's a Youper. He lives in the UP.
Yeah, he's like, what are we number one in? What? It sure isn't this, that, the other that you think it is. These are the countries that are above us.
Yeah.
We sure used to be. I love that. I love that video.
I love that clip. Yep.
It's so truthful to what was going on and is going on in this country. But that was, it's interesting because I think the main reason we have the problems we have in this country is the degradation of our educational system and the political segregation of our society more than anything else.
Absolutely.
And I wish more people would just look at it as all of us are facing the same issues, or all of our races have faced similar issues at different times in our histories, and that nobody's burdens are any greater than any others, but we still have to respect and acknowledge what they went through.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, we have a problem where everybody wants to say that their damage is more important than everybody else's damage. And that's what in this country, we just can't seem to get over that. I don't know why, but let's not end that on a sour note. That's
for another show.
Yeah, that's definitely for another show if we're going to talk about that. But again, thanks for watching, and we'll be back on Thursday with a bunch of reviews. John will be with us. I don't know what John's even going to be giving me yet, but I'll have to talk to him. But
probably some song and dance. But
he will actually is going to dress as Mr. J. Frog and
hello, my baby, hello, my darling, hello, my right. Send me a kiss by wire. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me, and you be left alone. Oh, baby, telephone and tell me I'm your own. There we go. We'll end
Okay,
on that note.
now, see, now John can't do it. Now you got to do it. So make sure you find your green T-shirt. I did give you a green one, didn't I?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I'll check.
Yeah, if you have a green T-shirt, you're gonna, we're gonna have to do that. Get you a top hat.
All right. You haven't heard me sing the Scotsman song.
Alrighty. Anyway, so we'll be back on Thursday nights, and thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time on. But before we go, I gotta. Oh, what is it doing? Why is it doing this? Oh, I know why it's doing it. Okay. Just a second. My computer closed down the window.
Okay. Oh, a Scotsman clad and killed left the bar one evening.
Now.
One could tell by
I'm going to shut your
that he
voice down.
took more than his share.
Let me see here. There we go. Alrighty, that's why it wasn't doing it, because I was trying to share a window and it wasn't on the window. All right, there we go. Contact me at lewis.brightraven on Facebook, at Twitter at lewisbrightraven2. You can see more of my artwork at deviantart.com/brightraven. See more of Chris's coloring work at deviantart.com/fatboy73. I'm watching Quoth Raven, Lewis Bright Raven exclusively on YouTube. And if you have questions, comments, suggestions for topics to talk about, Quoth Raven LBR72@gmail.com is the place to email me if you don't get back a response. Try lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com. If you want to reach out to Chris, he's got his address off today, but it's
GH Throwing Stones at gmail.com.
ghthrowingstones@gmail.com. And we'll be back on Thursday. So have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time. Quoth the Raven. Nevermore.
Nevermore.